believes I can't sleep.
It's time to listen to Courtney at last on the Ramblings of an Insomniac podcast.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. Hello. Hey, so if you were in a mood for a pick-me-up, something to make you happy and get you going for the day, something that'll make you whistle and sing and just get you started for the day, well, this is not that podcast. This is not the episode. So if you're wanting something cheery, this is probably not the episode for you. Not that I am like, Debbie Downer necessarily, and not that I want to, be negative. That's not my intention at all of this podcast. It's more of a sad, reflective, regretful kind of mode. So, if sad and regretful, mournful kind of thing is not your gig right now, which it probably isn't most people's gigs ever, right? But you know how sometimes if you're in a really bad mood, you want to listen to angry music, or if you're in a sad mood, you want to listen to sad music. You broke up with someone, you want to listen to love songs. Well, this is kind of like that for the podcast. It's like if you're already in a sad mood or mournful, depressed, kind of regretful sort of mood, and you want to listen to something like that, kind of like you do when you're, like I said, when you're angry and you listen to like, heavy metal or something, then maybe this is your podcast. So with that said, why am I feeling mournful and depressed and regretful? My aunt passed away a few days ago, and she was not biologically my aunt, but she was my aunt. She has quite literally known me since the day I was born, and she took care of me for a large part of my life, full time. And I called her parents my grandparents, and her nephews and nieces I called my cousins because they raised me. I grew up with them. And it's odd because I don't know how to say this. So I genuinely felt so comfortable around my aunts and my grandma and grandpa and my cousins that, I told them literally everything. And I felt so good when I would visit them, and they would never judge me. They always welcomed me. They always helped me. And when I was in a pickle, they helped me no matter what. Never, ever judged. Just was there. And they were the people in my life when I didn't have stability, when I didn't feel safe, when I didn't feel protected or wanted. They were the family that made me feel those things. I did feel safe and protected and wanted when I was with them. And then life, goes on, and you turn into a teenager, and then I still stayed fairly close, but I just have never stayed close to people. I don't mean to push people away, but I very much do because of my background and my past. And I know we need to move on from our past, because if we keep living in it, we're never going to move forward. We're never going to grow. We're not going to be healthy. Mentally, we're always going to be stuck. But unfortunately, stuff in your past shapes you in a way. It doesn't have to define you. Certainly doesn't have to define you, because I have definitely, I'm not an alcoholic, I'm not an addict, and I'm not a lot of the things that I could have been. But they still play a big role into who you become. And it doesn't have to. You can choose to be whoever you want. Your past does not have to define you. But again, it's hard when you've had certain things happen in your life not to not to have it affect you, And so sorry, there's a big garbage truck in the background. It's garbage day. Lord, that's loud. Oh my gosh. I'm sitting here pouring my heart out, sitting here trying to talk about stuff, and the garbage truck is coming by, and that creates my dogs barking. Jeez, Louise. So anyway, because of my past, I tend to push people away. I don't want to get close to people. I don't want to. It's just the only people that I get close to are my sons and my animals. Animals aren't people, I know, but my sons and my animals, and like my mom and dad, so my family. My family are the only people that I ever get close to. The only people that I not only get close to, but I pour myself into 1000%. They are my life. But unfortunately, that means that people who have been there for me, like good friends of mine and family, other family members, that again, that family isn't biologically my family. I call them my family, and they are family to me. They mean the world to me. But I push people away. And I also just genuinely don't have time. There's only one of me. A lot of people live anywhere from an hour and a half to 3 hours to across the country away from me. Now, an hour and a half isn't a big deal. 3 hours really isn't a big deal either, but it is when you have 2 days off. And in those 2 days, you are trying to accomplish things like when my mom was alive, I was visiting her on my days off before COVID happened. So I was driving 3 hours to Astoria and 3 hours back. And I was grocery shopping for her and cooking for her and cleaning her house and then trying to spend time with her. So I was tired. And then I would drive home and go to work and take care of my property and clean my house and do my laundry and grocery shop and all of that. And so I was going up there a lot. And when I wasn't doing that, I was trying to visit everybody. And it gets frustrating when you're the only one driving. And then people are like, why aren't you visiting? Why aren't you visiting? Well, why aren't you visiting? Is your car broken? Is your time more valuable? If you haven't visited me, but I have visited you one or more times and you've never visited me, then why are you complaining to me about my time and me not coming to you? Why am I the glue? It's a two-way street. And my friends are busy too. It's just that for some reason, I feel like my whole life it's been like, well, I don't feel like doing it, so Courtney will do it. Just simple things like cleaning up the house when you are spending all of your time and energy after, again, you work 50 hours a week and you just go and go and go and go and you want to relax. So when you clean the house and it's immaculate and then people can't do things like wash off a dish and put it in the dishwasher or clean up crumbs or put garbage in the garbage can or it's just frustrating because I'm like, look, I've done all the work for you. All you have to do is maintain what I've done. You just have to maintain what I've done. When you're done eating, you rinse off a plate and put it in the dishwasher. It's no harder than rinsing off a plate and putting it in the sink. The dishwasher's right next to the sink. But I guess my point is, my aunt passed away a couple of days ago, and I had been a little bit upset with her and didn't talk to her about it. I was a little disappointed in some things that she was doing and ways that she was behaving and things I had found out about that just disappointed me greatly. And instead of talking to her, I just kind of pushed her away. And then she was always good about sending birthday cards to my sons and to me and thinking of me, and she set aside she saved some stuff from my grandma for me, and I just pushed her away instead of talking to her like a normal adult. And then one day I sent her a Facebook Messenger. I didn't call her. I sent her a fucking Facebook message. I was at work at the time, so I couldn't call, but I mean, if I could Facebook message, why couldn't I call? I don't know. But I was doing the text to talk thing, and I was talking into my messenger, and I was basically saying, I'm sorry that I haven't called, and I'm sorry that I haven't kept in touch, and I'm sorry that I haven't communicated, and thank you for everything that you've done, and I need to make time, and I need to stop pushing you away. And she was, as usual, very forgiving and was like, it's okay. I need to make time to see you too. And then I said, well, I need to make time right away because I don't want to look back on this and regret it. I don't want to look back and be a missed opportunity and then regret it. And that was like a month and a half ago. And then she died. And I feel like that's the same thing that happened with my mom all over again. She begged me and begged me and begged me to come and see her and to visit her. And I did until COVID and COVID's restrictions. It wasn't me. It wasn't my choice at all to not see my mom. I went out of my way to make time for my mom. But fucking Kate Brown and Fauci and fucking Democrats decided that they were going to be evil, horrible people that should rot in hell. Fauci should quite literally be tortured. He should have a slow, painful death. He shouldn't get away with a quick execution. He should be painfully tortured for all the people that he has painfully tortured. All the people that he has killed. All of the horrible, horrible animal testing he does. He's a terrible, evil person. And I want him to be tortured brutally. And I want Kate Brown and all the Democrats that do these evil things like allow sex trafficking, allow illegal immigrants to come in so that they can turn around and fight in a war. A bunch of psychopaths. What a bunch of psychopaths. They're like, hey, you can come into our country and you can fight a war. And then if you fight a war, you'll be a citizen. And then you'll vote Democrat. What a bunch of maniacal, disgusting, disturbing grossness. What a bunch of disgusting. I cannot get the visual. It haunts me of the poor dogs that he has used in lab tests. I'm tired of this world being gross and evil. What happened? Everyone says, oh, pick out the good and look at the good and focus on the good. Where is it at? Where is it at? Good people die all the time, and evil people are living to continue to spread misinformation and hate and kill just so that they can be rich and have control. What kind of sadistic, disgusting world has this turned into where we can mutilate children and be okay with that? We can be okay with the sex trafficking of children, of having them inject themselves with terrible poison and be okay with it. What kind of world are we living in where we have maps, where pedophiles have their own flag, where transgender flag is is considered revered, but the American flag is considered you're supposed to be evil and on the side of hate and a horrible person if you love America and you love the American flag, but yet the transgender flag can be put on a flagpole? I said to my aunt, I don't want to regret it. I don't want to regret it. And I tried to help my mom. And now I just feel I'm just, this is, I didn't get to say goodbye to anybody in my life. They've all been taken from me suddenly. And my grandparents, I was incredibly close to my grandparents. And one died when I was 23 and one when I was 25. So early in my life. And they were again stable and safe. Death has just been a huge part of my life. And I've said this in podcasts before, but my real dad died and my dog, both on the same day, which was my 9th birthday. On my 9th birthday, I lived in Federal Way, which is a real fucking shithole of a city. And I hated it. And I was bullied. And I hated the kids there. I hated my teacher. I hated everything about it. And on top of that, on my 9th birthday, both my dog and my father died. I had another grandma, a different grandma, that died on my 21st birthday. No, excuse me, my 25th birthday. That was lovely. Um, the grandma that I was really close to died a few days after my birthday. My mom died 10 days before my birthday. So everybody in my family has passed away except for my 2 sons. And they all passed away a long time ago. Well, my mom passed away 2 years ago. So I guess that's not a long time ago, but everybody else has been when I was in my 20s. And then my stepdad, that I called my real dad, that I considered my real dad. Gosh, that's been like 15 years ago. I'm just tired. I'm so tired of the evil. I wish it's sad to me that it takes something huge like 9/11 for people to pull together. It's sad to me that the Democrats are so hard up that they are going to such horrible, horrific, unimaginable lengths to keep themselves in power. Power is such a beast. It's such a horrible beast. I don't know. Regret is it's a nasty thing because it can consume you. It can really consume you. And I don't know how to move on past things. I try, counseling is obviously always good. Exercise and, finding activities that you enjoy. Getting up and making your bed. I used to get up and make my bed because of that video I saw of the gentleman that was in the military and he was giving a college speech and he talked about how getting up in the morning and making your bed pretty much sets the tone for the day. And he's right, I agree, and I did it forever. And then I stopped. 'Cause God forbid I follow through. I don't know. Like I said, this isn't your podcast if you're in the mood for a pick me up. And again, I will get up the next day. I will put one foot in front of the other. I'm outside right now taking a breath, trying to allow myself, like I always say, allow yourself to feel pain, allow yourself to feel grief and anger and frustration. You have to. We have those emotions for a reason. They're important. They're important emotions that we need to use, that we need to have and use and be okay with. It's just, obviously, we don't want to live in fear. We don't want to live in depression. We don't want to live in anger and sadness. But today I'm going to watch stupid shit. Although the power's out, which I'm not trying to sound like a first world asshole, but you know those days, so my phone died 4 days ago, as in it just stopped taking a charge. It will not charge. It will not turn on. I can't get it to turn on. Well, the timing of it was bad because at the time it's the only way I had to communicate via email through some important emails I had to make. And of course, because even though I am Generation X and we always had to memorize phone numbers, unfortunately, I did not memorize people's phone numbers. So I had no way of contacting them, and I couldn't use my iPad because it kept telling me I had to send a code to my phone to authenticate, and I couldn't turn on my phone. So I couldn't authenticate it. And so I haven't had a phone for 4 days, and it was bad timing. And it was right after I found out, like literally like an hour after I found out my aunt died. And then I had to stay the night at work the last couple of days. So I wasn't home. And I finally get home to use my old phone so I can look up my contacts and I can look up everything. And it was dead. And I'm like, no worries, I'll charge it. So I start charging it. And then our power goes out. And so it was bad timing because I'm sitting here with no phone, no power, and no car. And again, I'm Generation X. We communicated very well without a cell phone, but at least we had a landline. I don't even have a landline right now. And we communicated fine without a car. We had a bike, but I don't have a bike and I live out in the country. And power, I'm sorry. Yes, I can live without power, but right this very moment, I'm in the middle of about 1,000 things I need to take care of, and it's just bad timing. I mean, I went without power for 8 days during an ice storm a couple of years ago, and it was fine, but I'm also very fortunate, and I've got a wood stove and I have a gas oven. So I had heat. I could cook on the stove. Sorry, I'm going to blow my nose so I'm not sitting here sniffing in your face. But I had an oven and all of that, and it was actually kind of fun. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind not having a cell phone. I didn't mind not being on the cell phone. We played board games. It was great. Fought, played board games, all of that. I'm going to pause you so I can blow my nose. Okay, sorry. Oh my gosh. And so it was fine, but right now, just poor timing. And so those days where you're just kind of like, work has been kind of crazy and it's just been one thing after another. And then I come home and I'm like, all right, I still don't have a phone, but I'll go get a phone. And I'm like, no, because now we're down to one car and I don't have a way to go get my phone taken care of. And then it's just all these little things that you are like, all right, I'm going to be in a good mood. I'm going to focus on the good. I'm going to focus on the good. These aren't big deal things. Worse things can happen. There are a lot of worse things that can happen. People are going through worse. Which also reminds me, though, I really hate it when people do this. I admit I've done this. I admit I've done it, and it's shitty when I do it, and it's shitty when other people do it. But just because someone else has it worse, there are people in the world that have it worse than you, doesn't mean that what you're going through doesn't suck. Doesn't mean that what someone else is going through isn't a big deal or that they don't have the right to be upset. I hate it when people do that. Well, there's starving people in Africa. Yes, and that's sad and that's terrible. And I wish that there weren't starving people in Africa. But that doesn't mean I can't be sad about my aunt dying, or that doesn't mean that I can't be frustrated today over the 89 little things that have now added up. And I have been good and I have been patient over the 89 little things, and now finally I am losing my shit. And yes, it may be 89 little things, and maybe they are not big deal things at all, but I'm still trying every day because after a while, there's only so much people can take. People have a limit. There are limits, and that's okay. Again, we're humans. We're made of flesh and blood. We have emotions for a reason, because sometimes our emotions get crazy. Sometimes we get upset for no reason, and sometimes we have a reason. And sometimes our reason may, what's going on with us may not be as big of a deal as what someone else is going through. But that doesn't mean it's not a big deal, or that doesn't mean we don't have the right to be upset. And today, it's just a whole bunch of little things mixed in with big stuff. And I have been waking up, putting one foot in front of the other, being positive, trying to breathe, trying to do stuff, but I haven't been able to do activities that I enjoy because I've been too busy. I haven't been able to sleep. I'm still not getting more than 4 hours of sleep. I'm beyond exhausted. My brain feels like it's so foggy. I don't know how I'm functioning, honestly. And it sucks when you feel like you have to always be the responsible adult while everybody else that are also adults and should be responsible aren't. It sucks when you don't respect your boss and you feel that you care more about a place. It sucks when you clean a house and you have it immaculate, and then you come back and everything is just completely disgusting, and all they had to do was just finish eating something and rinse it off and put it in a dishwasher. But these are not the things that are bothering me. These are just the things that, after all the big stuff that's been going on, that I tried to shrug off and tried to deal with in a healthy way. And then it just kept being a bunch of little stuff. And I came home today and the house was an absolute mess, and I left it immaculate. And now I'm like, so everybody else's days off, they get to relax and have a good time and make a disaster of things for no reason. Because again, all you have to do is maintain. No one has to clean anything. It's already been done. All the hard work's been done by me on my days off, my time, my energy. So all you have to do is maintain it. Eat something, rinse it, put it in a dishwasher. Throw garbage in a garbage can, not on the floor. Put clothes in the laundry, not on the floor. Stuff like that. Put toilet paper back on the roll. So if someone's using the bathroom, they have it, just little things that are very easy to maintain. And so it's just that stuff when you come home and all you want to do is relax because you've had a bunch of big stuff go on and you're tired of being the responsible one. And you just want to go home and lay down because you've earned it, but you can't because other people have just destroyed everything and made it a mess. And I'm like Monica on Friends, and I cannot relax and I cannot lay down with a dirty house, with a messy house. I don't like clutter. I can't stand clutter. Clutter makes my mind cluttered. But obviously, I'm also just extra sensitive and extra cranky because of my aunt passing and the conversation that we had, and how I'm regretting the fact that I should have called her, not sent her a text. I was at work and I was in a hurry. So I was like, okay, I'll just at least send a message so that she knows I'm thinking of her and she knows I'm going to call her. And then I didn't. And I even said I would regret it. And I do very much, because this was a sudden thing. And she'd been having health stuff, but nothing that she was supposed to die of. And this was a very random fluke thing. And now all the people that I felt safe with, all the people that I felt comfortable and safe and protected by and felt myself with are gone. And my whole life, I have never felt safe or protected. I never feel safe and protected unless I'm around my grandma and grandpa, who passed away a very long time ago. So in my 20s, I felt completely vulnerable again. And that's when I was going through divorce and meningitis and cancer and having children. And I was homeless for a while, had to live on couches while working and going to school for a CNA. I've gone through a lot of stuff, and I have done so by myself because I have not had people around to help me or protect me, or I've just done everything on my own. I've had to, which, in a way is amazing because it makes me strong and it makes me capable. It makes me respect things and appreciate things. But the people that used to help me and protect me and care about me all died when I was so young. And I just have never been one to be irresponsible. I don't like when people get too drunk because I'm like, this isn't safe. I mean, if we're at a house, and I just don't like drunk people. I don't like it when people are out of control. I don't like things that are out of control. And boy, I admire people that can let loose because I'm sure they're a lot happier than I am. But my whole life, I got to get my dog. Come on, Mo. Let's go, Mo. Let's go, Nora. I just have been the one that's had to maintain all of the, put out the cigarettes, make sure no one's passed out in their vomit, make sure nobody tries to drive while they've been drunk. And I just want a day to be irresponsible. But then I think, no, I would hate it. I don't like being irresponsible. So I'm like, no, I want a day for a hot bath. And I'm like, what am I talking about? I hate hot baths. I don't like baths. I want a day to go to a barn and go ride a horse. That'd be amazing. I want a day to go take pictures. I want a day to go lay in a field, a huge field with the long, long grass around me. I don't know. Anyway, like I said, this is not the podcast to cheer you up. It's just how I'm feeling today. 2 hours from now, maybe I'll be a little more chipper. But right now, I said this is my personal journal. Well, I guess I can't say personal, because it's not really, I'm not keeping it to myself, but my journal, my journey, and I'm just sharing with you the good and the bad. So those are some things keeping me up. How are you? Do you have regrets? Regrets are just they're not healthy, of course. People are like, no, regrets are good because you know what to do better next time. They help you learn. I'm like, I know. I feel like they just weigh you down and make you hung up and not move forward. You have to kind of go, well, I screwed up and now I got to do better. But when it comes to someone that's died, how do you just go, well, I just got to do better? Well, I don't have any other family members except my sons. And I've already, they're the ones I do pour my heart and soul into. But anyway, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. I really genuinely appreciate everybody that has tuned in so much. It means the world to me. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're not regretful. I hope you're not in the mood that I'm in, because just a real bummer today. But if you are, you know what? Own it. It's okay. Get some tissue, watch a movie, do whatever it is that you need to do. Get it out of your system so that you can move on. But right now, it's okay to cry. That's all right. Go punch on a punching bag. If you're angry, punch your pillow, punch a punching bag, kickbox. I don't know. Go on a hike, go on a run, listen to music, whatever it takes for you. Allow yourself to be in that mood. And then pick yourself up and figure out a solution. And you've got this. But thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate you listening to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. Until next time.